everybody, long time no talk. So basically, I wanted to come back to my YouTube channel because I kind of stopped because I was having a lot of personal things that were going on, and I kind of want to explain it a little. But I want to come back and daily vlog for a little while, so that's going to be very excited. So I have a lot of plans for it. So first of all, why have I been gone? So as you know, I got engaged and then I kind of eloped, so I got very quickly married, so that was amazing. It was very excited time of your life, but again, you get busy. I kind of documented it a little, but it was like very much in like that newlywed stage and kind of like combining everything and doing a lot of different things in our life, so that was super exciting. And then I'm not a US citizen, so I had to go through a lot of the paperwork to file my green card. And if you don't know that, that takes a while, and it's a lot of like just acquiring a lot of documents, and it takes basically all my free time. It was a time suck. It was just like I was doing most of it. I did get a lawyer to kind of like review it, but I was doing most of the preparation, so I had to read up on a lot of things, make sure I was nice and prepared, and everything went fine. I filed it. It's already it's been filed for a while now. But then I got very busy with work, but now what happened is that because I was on a work permit because I'm not a US citizen, and my new work permit hasn't come in because, you know, USCIS, which is the government agency that files like green cards and all immigration applications, takes forever. I currently don't have a work permit, so I'm not legally allowed to work, and that is like not completely fine, because it is very stressful, because I do have a very demanding job. I do have a very high stress job. Even though it's like a corporate job, it still like feels like it's very high stress, but it's not. I'm not like a doctor or anything, but it is one of those situations where like my coworkers are gonna not be having such a great time because I left, but I also couldn't do anything about leaving because it's basically illegal for me to work. But thankfully, I'm in a place in my life where me and my husband Joey can kind of like be comfortable enough with me not working for a short period of time. We'll be fine, and now I get to enjoy my days, I guess. I don't know what to do with my life. I've been in a very much like, I'm a very go sort of person, so I've been going for like the past, I don't know, since I graduated high school. I never like had a semester off of college. I never had like a gap in between my like university and my master's. I got a job right out of college. Like I had like basically a 1 week vacation when I switched jobs. I never took vacation, so I'm very afraid of alone time with myself, which is kind of crazy. I think a lot of people will love to have this opportunity, but I already kind of like went through something similar during COVID, and I know that I stopped taking care of myself. I get a little depressed. I stop doing things for myself. I become a couch potato, and I am very afraid of that. So I just need to keep my stuff together. And because of that, I want to keep some routines. So first of all, we're going to daily blog, which is what we're doing right now. And I'm going to document what I do in my day. So I don't have a lot planned today because it is my first day. So I kind of like, I'm just getting used to it. So, but I do have some things planned. So I want to go for my swim. I swim every other day. I usually do a little over 1 kilometer. So we're going to go do that. And then we're going to go to the bookstore. It was recently my birthday, and a lot of people in my life gave me gift cards to bookstores because they obviously know I love to read, so we can go pick some things up. Sadly, it probably won't be an actual book because I want to get a cooking book, and those are expensive, so I might use my gift card for a cooking book instead of like a actual like reading book. But I will be doing some cooking because I do love to cook, and I'll do a recipe for my new cookbook probably. And yeah, walking my dog, maybe reading some. I'm in the middle of like 5 books. I feel like every time my life gets stressful, I don't hate reading. I'm just like topsy-turvy. Like I will like get a book, I'll read the first 100 pages, and as soon as it loses my interest, I'm done. Like I'm not reading anymore, and then I switch to another book and read the first 100 pages and then not finish it. So right now I'm in the middle of 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 books. So I'm gonna name them all, and hopefully we can finish them in this kind of like this week. I'm not going to say today. That would be crazy. So I'm in the middle of I Was a Teenage Slasher. This is the book for Books and Lala's book club that is going to be meeting this weekend. I'm in the middle of The Ministry of Time. This is a book about time travel. So it's a near future where the British government discovered how to time travel. And instead of them going back, they choose some moments in history and they bring people forward to kind of see how would that affect like people's bodies and people's minds, kind of like how to like to test whether or not people will go crazy if they move into the future rather than somebody going into the past. So that's a very interesting concept, and you get like historical figures in the future, which is very fun because you know, like that fish out of water story. The bad thing is that it's kind of boring. It's kind of like very mundane and nothing is really happening. Sorry, the light just went off. So that's kind of when I got bored. Like as soon as like the newness of the concept wore out, I was like, why am I still reading this? So yeah, I left it halfway through. Oh, sorry, I'm in the middle of 6 books. I'm sorry. The next one is They Can't Kill Us Till They Kill Us, which is a nonfiction about music essays. So this is an essayist who wrote several essays about different artists and different like genres, mostly focusing on the Black experience while listening to music in America. So that one is pretty good. It's just very, very like, you know, it's an essay, so it's like heavy and analytical and like you have to like be right in the moment just listening to that one thing. You can't really be like moving around doing chores because you will miss half of the point. So yeah, those are the one more, Service Model. This one is one of those things that sounded so exciting, but then it just wasn't exciting anymore for me. So Service Model is about a robot who's a butler in a distant future, and what happens to him is that he accidentally kills his boss, but he kind of like is stuck in an error loop where like he is designed to do tasks. So every time he tries to do tasks, then he can't do it because his tasks are all around the man that he just killed. But when he tries to call the police is like, we have a million years wait list for you guys. Is your thing urgent? And he's like, no, it's not urgent because he's already dead, so it's not urgent. And then the police is like, okay then, so we won't come and help, and kind of like you're at the bottom of the list. So he's stuck like trying to get help for like, or get charged or like go to jail because he's a killer, but because of all this bureaucracy, nothing ends up happening. So again, one of those books that sounded really interesting, but then became very mundane, and now we're just like going through a time, like going through the same thing over and over and over again. So I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? So yeah, I don't know. I have to finish some of those books, but those are the reasons kind of where I stopped. The only one that I'm actually excited to keep on reading was I Was a Teenage Slasher, which is a book about a kid who lives in Texas and goes through a lot of bullying, and his whole like little small town is very toxic, and there are a lot of bad actors, and one night something horrible happens in the town and basically he becomes a slasher from a horror film. Again, this one I'm not very into, but that one I have to finish because it's Books and Lala Book Club and I don't miss those. As far for the books that I'm in the middle of, I know there's so many, I'm so bad. I said it was only 6, but it's actually more like 10. So of Jade and the Dragon. So this is the book from one of my Illumicrate books. This book is gorgeous. I'm in like almost finished this one. I just haven't gone through that finish line. So I have to finish this book. This is about a girl whose dad passes away with a mysterious killer, and she kind of decides that she's gonna go find answers in the big city, and she joins the school of engineers in order to find answers because she finds out that her father was actually part of the school and he was very well regarded in the school, so she needs to find out who killed him. The problem with a lot of Illumicrate books I've been having is because they're very clearly young. I don't want to say it's young adult because they're not. They're adult books, but they're written like young adult books. And also, they're written like they're going to be part of a very big series, and I don't necessarily want to commit that type of time. And a lot of them are like, you know, like very much like setup books. And I'm like, I need a story to be like a whole story in one book, please. Please do not create setup books for series that I don't even know if I want to read. So you're making me do all this for the setup, and then the setup is not really, I don't know if I'm going to continue on the series. I don't know. But this one has actually been pretty good, so I just have to push through the finish line. It's been pretty excited. And then this one is To Cage a God. Did I even mark how far in am I? Probably the first 100 pages. I would say so. So this is about two girls that have gods inside of them, and they got gods inside of them because of their mother, their adopted mother was like trying to throw out the government, and because of that she needed powerful allies, and she kind of like adopted these two young girls and put gods inside of them. But the problem is that this is a very damaging process for like the mind and the soul, so these girls are kind of like going a little crazy and not handling it well, and then the adopted mother ends up like disappearing, dying. I don't remember what happens to her. So now they're all alone, and they have to figure out how they're gonna go about joining the revolution or not. But now they're in a very much limbo, just trying to survive, just trying to not be captured as well. So pretty interesting book, pretty interesting concept, and you know, obviously gorgeous. So I have to finish that one. And this one I'm the least bit into, so this one is the Illumicrate from this month, and this one is the Phoenix Keeper. So this is supposed to be a very cozy story about this Phoenix Keeper. She's like a zoologist in the San Diego Zoo, but in this world the San Diego Zoo has exotic creatures. So she does mostly birds. So if you can see, look at it, it's so pretty. And this is described as a cozy fantasy that is between two, has a female-female relationship, and you can see them right there. So yeah, so I don't know why a cozy fantasy has to be this long. It's like almost 600 pages. So no, it's not 600 pages. It's 467 pages. I'm excited to read it, but again, like cozy fantasies, I feel like should be pretty like whippy. So hopefully it has things going on, because a lot of cozy fantasies actually don't have anything going on, which is my main problem with them. So yeah, again, you see my dilemma. I'm in the middle of a million books and probably gonna be in the middle of a million more books. So I just have to finish some things because I'm very behind in my Goodreads goal. I am 47 books, so I'm like 5 books behind. But again, it's not about reaching the goal, it's about enjoying the process. So yeah, I'll take you throughout my day, and I'll check into you when I finish something finally. Hello and welcome to my car. You can hear the engine because I have to keep the AC running because it's hot as hell in Georgia. So I just finished my workout. I went swimming. I don't have any footage of me swimming because there were other people, and I don't like filming when there are other people around. But I can tell you what my workout was. So I did like different types of swimming styles training. I usually like doing that, where I do like butterfly and backstroke and breaststroke in all one workout. So it was a little 1,300 yards, 43 minutes, 308 kilocalories, which is pretty good. I feel like that's why swimming is such a good workout. It just like, I don't feel like I'm that tired, but it was a lot. So I use the app, my Swim Pro app, it connects with my Apple Watch, and I love it because it helps you out, but it's not extremely intrusive. So usually it'll tell you like, okay, your next swimming is about to start in like 20 seconds, and then you'll just swim, and then you'll be like, okay, great, you completed that, let's do the next one. It'll start in 10 seconds, and then you do it, and it's like, you don't have to be looking at your phone, you just kind of like look down, okay, I know what to do, you keep going. It's not a lot of information, it's not super beginner friendly. You kind of need to know a little bit what you're doing already, like how to swim, like backstroke, breaststroke, freestyle, butterfly, how to keep track of your laps a little bit. It keeps track of your laps for you, but you just have to like know the distances of your swimming pool, like how long can you swim for. Yeah, it's very nice. I really like it, and I usually do very well with it. And so right now my plan is to go back home and go to the bookstore and start on some lunch. Probably lunch first, because I didn't have breakfast, so I probably should have lunch. So yeah, lunch first, then go book shopping, and then probably start thinking about what I want to make for dinner. And yeah, come with me. Bye. Oh, and by the way, I did read some of it. I Was a Teenage Slasher, and it's going very well. I still kind of don't get the point, but it's very gory. It's like extremely graphic and gory, but like a fun gory, like a really good like 90s, 80s like scary movie. So it's pretty fun. I am enjoying it. It's again like very little plot so far, but it's just like a ride. Basically, it's the next day from yesterday, and today I already went to a hot Pilates class. It was hell on earth. Those things are so hard. I was like, I do hot yoga pretty frequently, so I was like, oh, whatever, hot Pilates should be about the same thing. It is so much harder, mostly because you're actually moving. In hot yoga, you're like doing slow poses and like holding for a long time. Hot Pilates, you're like jumping around and the music is loud and you're supposed to be paying attention and switching positions. And I am the most terrible person in a workout class to pay attention. I'm like in my own world. I was like thinking about like what I was gonna eat today. So basically I was like a bit of a mess, but it was one of those situations where like I always give myself a lot of leeway when I first do a workout class. It's just about like surviving the workout class. After a while, you can focus on technique. You can focus on like doing it properly and following the instructions. But the first time is just basic survival. So yeah, so I did that this morning. It's good that I did it pretty early in the morning because I wanted to have a reason to wake up. As you know, that was one of my main downfalls during COVID, when I also had to take some time off work. So that's it. And I also finished a book. I Was a Teenage Slasher, and that was the book that I was reading for the Books and Lala book club. I was pretty excited, but I knew that this book was not my genre. I don't watch horror movies. I don't watch slasher movies. I know next to nothing about that genre of movies, and I know that this book was like a love letter to people that love slasher movies. And because of that, I was like, I'm not gonna get the joke, I'm not gonna get what they're talking about, but I try to come into it with like a positive attitude, basically. And I was kind of right. I did not get a lot of things. A lot of things went over my head. A lot of things that I know that people would find charming or funny, just I didn't find charming or funny because I don't know about the genre. Oh, by the way, I'm using this new Color Science tinted sun forgettable total protection face shield. It has like SPF 50 and it's like a tinted moisturizer because I don't have a lot of acne, but I do have a rosacea, so I just need something to even out my skin tone most days. So I like that one. It's not irritating my skin, and I have very sensitive eyes and again rosacea, so my skin will flare up if I'm like use something different, and it's been pretty good. I've used it for 2 days though, so it's not like a final review. And then I have like their same thing, Total Eye Care 3-in-1 renewal therapy. And their whole spiel is that it's supposed to be like skincare, moisturizer, and like sun lotion all in one, because I am very much into the all-in-ones. If I was a boy, I would absolutely use 3-in-1 shampoo. I'm that type of person. I don't know, like I rather do less when it comes to a lot of things like this, but I am trying to be a little bit better about it. So, because I don't want to, I'm 27, I'm not old, but I do think I should start at least wearing sunscreen every day. So, yeah. And, oh yeah, about the book. So yeah, so I Was a Teenage Slasher. I could appreciate how it was well written. I could appreciate a lot of things about the book because it was pretty interesting, but it didn't capture me. I was bored for most of it because I was like, this is not a mystery. There's not a mystery that is pulling the story forward. There's not like any tension that's pulling the story forward, because it was a problem of tone, in my opinion. The tone was very wacky, and but how the book was written, it was written in like first person from the point of view of the slasher in the future. So basically you were already like recapping all this, so the stakes felt really low. And also how the book was written, the slasher was like very depressed. So the tone of the book was depressing, but the subject matter was very silly and goofy and supposed to be funny. So I feel like those tones clashing made me not enjoy this book as much as I could have. If it was like a completely like silly, wacky story, like I feel like I could have a lot of fun. If it was more like introspective and depressing and looking into like what would make somebody do something like this, what would make somebody like about bullying and like racism. This doesn't have a lot to do with racism, but yeah, like about like how people in the 80s and 90s were mistreated and bullied, and that's why people went crazy like this. That could be more interesting. But at last, it was not about either of those things. It was a mishmash of both things, and I think it's gonna be very interesting to go to the live show because I feel like a lot of people are gonna have very mixed opinions, and I kind of like going to live shows where like Lala loves the book. Oh, Kayla, I call her Lala in my head. I don't know why. Kayla loves the book and everybody else hates it. I find it pretty funny. And then yeah, so I don't know. My prediction for Kayla's, I think she's gonna give it a 2. But I do think a lot of people are going to give it 4s and 5s. My current rating is a 2. And honestly, it could be closer to a 3 just because the book was well written. And I read the author note and I feel like the author put a lot of love into the book. But I just didn't like it and I didn't have a good time. One thing I will say, I was reading it last night right before I went to bed. I had the audiobook and I was listening to it as I went to bed. And it did give me some pretty like creepy nightmares. So because I was like, the setting is so vivid. It's set in Texas. It is like very much like narrates the setting very well, so I could like totally picture everything in my head that was happening. So yeah, it did a little bit of a horror thing, even though my nightmares weren't actually that terrifying. They were like silly, goofy nightmares. So yeah, it was pretty fun. I think it will be funner just to talk about it in the live show. I don't think the book was as fun as it could have been, and it was a little disappointing. So yeah. As for my plans for the rest of the day, I'm basically gonna get ready, and oh yeah, I forgot to show you the clips that I did about yesterday. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Yeah, I think I forgot to show you the clips of I already showed you the clips of the food I made yesterday, but I did forget to do the book haul. So this is a book I got for my birthday. It's called More is More. I know that this is a actual like reading books like channel, but I also love cooking books. They're one of my many passions. And yesterday what I did, I can show it to you, was this. I made this skirt steak. And I actually didn't use steak because I didn't have it. With juicy tomatoes and salsa matcha. It's on page 141. I like this book because the whole philosophy of this is like kind of like, yes, these are recipes, but do whatever you want kind of book. And I really appreciate those because I will substitute. I will do whatever I want. I just want ideas and I kind of want a little instructions, but nothing crazy. So yeah, so this was great. My husband absolutely loved it. We did it with shrimp and we had like too many tomatoes to eat, so they went perfectly with this. And yeah, that was the food I made, and I already have little tabs of all the other food I want to make this week. And for today, we're going to have pizza because Friday is pizza night in my household. So let's see if I can show you the recipe. Yeah, here you go. So I'm going to make grandma's pie in page 100. So this is the pizza. And yeah, I already have the dough ready. I already proofed it overnight. Joey actually made the dough because I was talking to my mom last night. And yeah, so super excited. So I'm going to make pizza. And Joey mentioned about playing golf if he comes home early enough. So we might do that. And yeah, it's Friday, so I feel like I don't have to be as productive as I usually have to be. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to treat this furlough as an exciting opportunity to do whatever I want. But sadly, I want to do too many things and I can't get my mind organized. So I might actually like make a list of things I want to accomplish during this time. And yeah, those are my plans. And right now I'm going to finish the Ministry of Time. I kind of gave a synopsis already, so I'm not going to do it again. But it is still not picking up. So hopefully some things plot-wise happen to really like kick it into the next level. Because I feel like it's been a little bit stagnant so far. yeah, I'll update you when I'm ready. Bye. Hello and welcome to a car update about this reading vlog. So basically I have finished one book and I'm almost done with another. I finished is the Ministry of Time, and I actually have a lot of thoughts about it because I thought this book was very hyped and I thought I would love it because it is science fiction and science fiction is my favorite genre. So I read it and it felt very detached in a lot of ways. I feel like the way the book was written was in like first person but journal entries. So it was basically just journal entries all throughout. And I tend to have a difficulty with that type of like writing style when I dislike the main character, because then you're only getting their perspective, so you're kind of like losing everybody else's perspective. You're losing a lot of world building, you're losing a lot of like the bigger plot of it all. And I thought it was effective for when the twist happens, but I didn't think it was effective otherwise. I thought it was very boring and very meandering and very a plot that should be like very like hard-hitting and very fast-paced. It felt very like long, especially because this main character does go through periods of depression, so you do have to go through the periods of depression with her. So it's like not fun and it's not very fast-paced, which is something I usually look into with science fiction. But if you're more used to contemporary and if you're more used to like, you know, like not like the very fast-paced like science fiction and fantasy books that I usually prefer, I think this book would be great for you. I think it's very like, I think it's trying to say a lot, but it doesn't like successfully have the landing for a lot of things. I don't know. It's an odd one for me. I feel like with a lot of perspectives, you're either like in the head of the person or you're like in the life of the person, and in this book it definitely felt like you were in the head of the person rather than experiencing their life. And yeah, those are the two books I read. So far the plans for today is wash absolutely everything. I want to wash my bed sheets, I want to wash my laundry, my towels, wash everything. I think that's something I'm really looking forward with this time that I have off. Just clean everything, deep clean everything, and just get myself to a nice place so I don't have to do it as often anymore. And then second step is bring my plant to somewhere that they can get repotted. I know there's a plant shop in Virginia Highlands here in Atlanta that does repotting, and I really wanted to do it because my plant is it's getting very big, and because it is a monstera, it's starting to like lean pretty heavily, and I don't want the roots to start coming out. And even though I have one of those stability rods in it, it's just like keeps getting worse and worse, and I am a little afraid of repotting it. I just had like terrible experience with repotting plants before. Like every time I repot something, I don't know, because of the shock or the way I do it, plants end up dying, and it's really sad. So I rather just let the professionals do it, because I've had this plant for over 3 years now, so I wanted to keep it alive. So yeah, those are my plans, and I'll walk you through it and let you know what else I did today. Hello and welcome to the end of this vlog. So I just finished the Phoenix Keeper. Again, I have this like gorgeous Illumicrate edition with a ton of extra content I noticed, and also like illustrated and pages. It looks so pretty. So at the end of the day, this ended up being like super straightforward cozy fantasy. It's one of those cozy fantasies where it does discuss heavy topics like anxiety and just like being very antisocial, not antisocial, but like very awkward socially, because the Phoenix Keeper Ayla is very awkward and she has to be in a lot of situations like stage fright and stuff like that. But it's still super cozy and it does have a couple like twists, even though like I saw the twist coming so far, but like the end is like really fun. Like the end picks up the pace and you're like in like a very much like Home Alone type of situations. It's a lot of fun and it's just like everything coming together was perfect. So yeah, I definitely give my recommendation about this one. It's a 4 stars because I reserved my 5 stars for a book that I absolutely love. But it kind of like made me think a little about like how anxiety is a very isolating thing, because I do have anxiety. It's not diagnosed, but like I am a very anxious person in general. So yeah, so I'm anxious. I don't think I have anxiety, but it is one of those situations where you isolate yourself because you stop talking to people because you're afraid of people and you're afraid of what they think of you. So that it kind of like hit kind of close to home. So I did have some like stronger topics and it still was very fun and lighthearted and the couple was amazing and it was just like so much fun and I love this book. So yeah, that is the last book. I just came back from swimming. I am making my comfort meal, which is crispy fried rice with salmon and just like a bowl. It looks disgusting, but I swear to God, it's so good. I'll take a little picture of it and insert it right here. And apart from that, I am probably going to start a couple more books this week, but I'm going to end this vlog here. I ended up reading, I think, 3 different things. The Phoenix Keeper, The Ministry of Time, and That Time I Became a Teenage Slasher. And yeah, it was like a very mixed thing. I think The Ministry of Time and The Time I Became a Teenage Slasher were both 2 to 3 star books. I really was hoping for a lot better, but this one ended up being a 4 star, so I ended up with something happy at the end. And yeah, come with me for my adventures. Tomorrow I'm gonna go to a golf tournament and next week I'm gonna be at the beach. So I'll document all that process. Okay, bye.